Hi, I'm Jennifer Kent, Senior Director of Research at Parks Associates, and I'm joined here today by Stephen Bird, who's the Senior Director of Health and Wellness at Nortek, which offers the Numera line of products and services to seniors and their caregivers across a variety of solutions. It has been a challenging year all around, but connected health products and services have really been incredibly important in keeping us connected and providing really critical services to consumers during this time. So as we lead up to the show, Stephen, we wanted to get your thoughts on how this year has really changed things, particularly for the older consumers and their family caregivers that you serve, and the places where technology can really play a valuable role in serving them in new ways. But first, let's hear a little bit more about, can you tell us a little bit more about Nortek and the Numera line of products?
Sure, yeah, thank you, Jennifer, appreciate that. So not many people know the name Nortek as it is, but the sub-brands under Nortek are fairly well known. Nortek itself is a leader in the global security and control market. We make the 2 gig panels for Alarm.com and SecureNet, as well as some high-end control systems with the Elan brand. The linear brand of garage door openers is also ours as well. We have power conditioning devices, Panamax and others. And then we also purchased a analytics company that does voice recognition and facial recognition. In 2015, in July, Nortek purchased a company called Numera that is well known for health and wellness space. They have 3 generations of PERS, the personal emergency system devices, as well as MPERS, the mobile devices. There's 10 patents for the technology, including some fall detection patents as well. The mobile device can go anywhere, so it gets GPS as well, and it integrates easily with existing monitoring centers for 911 type calls around the country. So I'm heading up that specific vertical, the health and wellness vertical.
Well, you know as well as I do that COVID-19 has been particularly impactful on the senior population. We know that older adults are more at risk for poorer outcomes if they're to contract the virus. That's led to a lot of even more strict social distancing than maybe some other age groups might be undergoing. Also a need for caregivers to learn how to care for their loved ones, sometimes virtually or remotely. And this may emphasize some, feelings of social isolation that the elderly population is already, particularly susceptible to. And so can you talk to us a little bit, you're really on the front lines because you are already in the senior market providing them products and services. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing from the people you serve, from seniors and their caregivers? How is this time impacting them right now?
Well, I mean, clearly, necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, people are spending a lot more time at home. In the past, we had our professional careers at work, and we did our medicine at doctors' offices. We did our entertainment at the theaters or the theme parks. But that's all different now. They're all converging inside the home because we've all been, forced to be in our home for 6 or 8 months. So in past generations, and our parents' or grandparents' generations, that really would have been impossible. But today's technology, along with the convergence of the technology of broadband and smart home and IoT, we're actually able to realize all that at home, which is pretty exciting. And the telehealth domain and the telehealth world is really no different. Home hubs, remote monitoring devices, patient and physician portals, as well as analytics are converging to create this home ecosystem. Specifically, for our customers, the socially distant world has brought to light the need for caregivers like me, my mom lives in Florida, to be able to remotely manage and monitor my family and patients, and then for the patients to be able to interact with their physicians and other services remotely if they're stuck at home and can't make it. So COVID has affected the ability really to see doctors. And good health care not only relies on the physician, but it also relies on 2 important things: timeliness of care. I mean, you have to get care quickly for certain things like heart attacks and falls, and it requires self-management of care also. As we all know, when you go to a doctor, if you are an educated person and what the possible problems could be, or if your mom or dad are with you if you're older, you're going to get much better care. And so COVID has affected both these paradigms, potentially meaning a reduced level of health care. So these independent living technologies that we bring together allow caregivers the tools to access patients' health and wellness status and needs.
I think you're absolutely right that especially because of these particular times, by necessity, people are trying new things. We ourselves have seen, just among the senior population, a huge increase in trials and use of virtual care type technologies from last year, and they may never have had the reason or even been familiar with these services before. Now that is the way to access their doctor in some cases.
I was just going to tell one little anecdote. What's interesting, I was in Singapore like 15 years ago, and I usually can sleep very easily, and for some reason with the time zone change I couldn't. And I went to the pharmacy and I just asked for some over-the-counter sleeping pills, and they said, no, we don't do that. And I said, oh, I understand. And I walked out and they're like, no, come on back. They took me to the front desk. They took a camera. They put it on me. They had a doctor and the pharmacist. They asked me a few questions. And this was 15 years ago. They're like, okay, here's 5 sleeping pills, and off I went. And I thought to myself then, why don't we have that? And now, finally, years later, we're finally catching up.
You know, and we've seen for a lot of vendors in this space, because of the way this all came about, you're really forced into scaling at a pretty incredible rate or adapting your operations, your products, to current market realities. Can you talk to us a little bit about what Nortek and Numera have done in the past 6 months in response to what's going on and what your customers are telling you they need from you?
One trend driving this innovation is a patient's desire to age independently and safely at home. So that trend has been going on to some degree, and COVID's really brought it to life. So at Nortek, Nortek's Numera's Personal Emergency Response System, or PERS, or the mobile PERS products, and it's this product specifically, addresses those needs. By pressing the button, this device does 3 things well. You press the button and it calls 911. It has 3 location devices in it. It's got GPS, it's got location-based services, and it's got Wi-Fi services. And so it'll send your location, and then it's got patented fall detection algorithms in it as well. So the product has, so with more and more advancements being made in mobile technology, these personal response systems are no longer being used just inside the home, they're being used outside the home. And it's not only for older 65-year-olds, younger people who want independence are also putting it in place as well. So, so not only can you obtain assistance when you're in your house, but you can do it on vacations or while running errands or otherwise. So it's more affordable than other in-person monitoring systems. If you had a nurse come to your house, it's like $150 a day. You don't necessarily need that. For older adults, they can retain independence. It provides immediate response by pushing the button, and you get help to you immediately. It offers peace of mind for your kids or for other caregivers that know, hey, mom's okay or dad's okay. They're really simple to use. I mean, it's a button push, and you get all these benefits not only in your home, but outside your home.
I'm kind of interested what you're most looking forward to discussing and what topics you're looking forward to hearing from our peers across the industry.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so telehealth is certainly, one piece of it, and a button like this serves a certain purpose, but also we're working on hooking up remote patient monitoring devices into this so we can send it right into back-end physician portals, and they'll be able to pull up an app and be able to access the person's blood pressure monitor, SpO2, in a doctor's office. And the way that insurance companies are working these days is you're starting to see these things be billable. And when, if you want to know why a decision's made, you follow the bouncing George Washington. And if the regulations are paying for it and the insurance companies are paying for it, the patients are going to start using it. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also, telemedicine is a bit of a wild west right now. And I've got a number of physician friends who tell me the positives and the negatives. I mean, they say it's really nice to be able to see more people remotely and you can get in. But also, I had a doctor friend of mine telling me, someone showed me their rash through a camera. And I'm not 100% sure what type of rash it is, but I prescribed something because I couldn't really see it over the camera. And so, we'll have to see which of these technologies stick and which ones don't. And it's definitely here to stay, but it's going to be interesting to see what all the laws and the regulations and the privacy concerns and all the technology and the ecosystem that sticks. And so this conference is going to be good to kind of start to solidify the Wild West, I think.
Absolutely right. I think that there's been a lot of opportunity that's opened here, and now it's getting the work done to make products and solutions as good as they can, really deliver on the promise of virtual care and connected health. And there might be a lot of cleanup to do as well to move this whole market forward in a responsible and really productive way. So looking forward to all these discussions. Stephen, thank you so much.